Executive Vice President Teresa Ribera, thank you so much for joining us on Euronews at this very critical week. We have seen devastating fires in France and Spain. You are in Madrid on the ground. What assessment do you make of the situation?
The situation is complicated, but everybody is working hard to ensure that we can control these wildfires. Now we've got an additional fire, very important fire very close to the border to Portugal, very important wildfires in Greece and Crete. So we know that this is a very worrying threat for the Europeans, for Europe, for our infrastructure, and we want to send a deep message of condolence and support to the victims in Los Gallardos, in France, in Spain, Madrid, but also for those relatives and friends that lost their beloved people.
And as you say, there's been an enormous damage to land, but also people that have lost their lives. And we've seen, in some cases, the biggest evacuation of civilians since the end of Second World War. When you see these numbers, what does that say to you? Is this now the reflection of a climate crisis?
This heat, lack of humidity, different winds, a new type of wildfires will be increasingly worsened because of the climate change, as it has always been the case. We know that we have to be ready for what it is happening. And yes, the evacuations have been so impressive. I've seen pictures from my own home being sent by my daughters that show the smoke, the color of the sky, so threatening people that are living in the surroundings of urban areas. We know that this is something that we need to take into consideration, how we organize the land management, how we can pay attention to ensure that public awareness, that people do care about the warning messages that the institutions, the regulators, the scientists show to us, the protection civil professionals that tell us, be careful. And this is why I'm so deeply worried when I hear people holding institutional responsibilities, downplaying the threat of climate change. Because it is like saying to someone that alcohol, drinking whiskey is not connected to road safety. It is stupid. Yes, we know that climate change is happening, and we know that the extreme events, the extreme temperatures, the extreme heat is going to drive much more dangerous contexts. We need to be fully aware, so to be able to prevent and to react, to protect our people, to ensure that we can build resilience instead of downplaying the threats, saying or spreading fake information that could lower the capacity of the society to be ready and to protect themselves.
And Commissioner, you have some very strong words there. You say there are those who downplay the threat. Would you argue that those, and we hear increasingly political voices saying that perhaps climate has become a bit of a cult, a bit of a religion, would you argue they are responsible? This is negligence also for everything that's happened this summer.
I think this is such a stupid and irresponsible message. To me, the most similar example could be someone holding an institutional responsibility, saying that you can drink as much whiskey as you want and then drive because traffic accidents are not connected to alcohol, but to the state of the road or to the state of the car. Of course, there are many things that count, but we are fueling wildfires by fueling climate change, by fueling heat waves, by fueling different weather conditions, different climate systems that could be impacting and raising the level of danger of the wildfires that there have been existing in Southern Europe for centuries, but now they are different. They are much more dangerous, and we need to pay attention, and they are happening not only in Southern Europe, but in many other places in the rest of the continental Europe. Heat waves that reach 37, 40 degrees in Northern Europe is not normal. It's not something that is we have always experienced heat. It is something very different.
We know that you have dedicated a big part of your life to climate action, that this is a cause that you deeply believe. But you are now, in 2026, one of the few voices within this commission that still says climate should be at the forefront. Is it time to rebalance the priorities of this commission? This summer should be a wake-up call to rebalance.
Well, I've always heard the president of the College of Commissioners stating that if we do not address climate change threats, we will have nothing to fight for in the time to come. So it is very convincing, as it is the whole team in the Commission. It is at the very same truth that we have lots of new parliamentarians in the European Parliament, political families at national politics that are very vocal against the climate science, against climate action. And I think that this is so dangerous because they are lying to the people. So I think that instead of fighting against each other because of science, we should be thinking how to solve the problems, because I think that the most important thing for any average citizen is to identify clear explanations that make sense, but also come up with solutions, with proposals that even if they are challenging, complicated, we need to fix things differently, we become credible in how to handle these priorities. And yes, I think that this is an issue dealing with competitiveness, but it is an issue dealing with security, and it is an issue dealing with performance of our infrastructures, whether it is energy infrastructures, whether it is road transportation or railway stations or hospitals being able to host people that are ill and could not survive 37 degrees in a building.
Just because we're running out of time, just to that point, there's been a big effort to, in some ways, relax some of the rules when it comes to green, and the industry definitely wants to move in that direction. Is this now a moment to say, let's just stop it? This summer is a reminder of that. It should be a reminder now.
I think that it could be fantastic to have simple rules, but what we cannot give up is in the protection, the context, the creation of the conditions to become consistent when thinking about climate threats and green economy.
And there's been inconsistencies? That's what you're hinting at?
Well, I think that we can still have a great potential ahead of us to ensure that we provide the right answers. But providing the right answers is not just getting rid of everything that has been building these green roots to keep on building the prosperity. We need to earn, we need to gain our future economy and the comfort of the society. And that doesn't go through going back to the, let's call it informally, Wild West, anyone willing to do whatever, and anyone being absent of any type of responsibility in transforming the society.
Well, Executive Vice President Teresa Ribera, thank you so much for joining us on Euronews for this important conversation. Appreciate it.
Thanks a lot.